It was a really great way we used to work with adjustment layers, but that kind of didn't work since CS6. But if we hack one of the brand new features inside of Photoshop, we can bring back that OG workflow. Let's check it out right now. Okay, here's a composite that I made of Taylor Davis and some dragons. And notice how I've taken her bow and I've turned her into a magical bow. What I want to do is I want to put the highlights to reflect onto the leather here. So we want to brighten it, and we also want to add some color. Now I've got a great hack I'm going to show you how to do it. So before we do that, let's do a simplified version so you can see how it works, and then we'll do it for real on the composite. So in this case, we're going to grab the adjustment brush just to make it simple. We won't do that in the real image. Let's change the color of this. So we're going to choose hue saturation. And now if we go from the taskbar, we can choose apply to object. And then if I roll over, notice that that will find the different objects. So I'm going to click, and that's going to create an adjustment layer with a mask that is applying there. We only want to change the color of the jacket. So we're going to grab this little tool here and just click. And if we look here, notice the yellow region is selected. So I can change the color. Okay, so let's make it a red. Okay, so here's where the trick comes in. I also want to change the brightness, but I don't want to have to create that mask again. Now there's several ways I could do that. So we could grab here, we could grab a say brightness contrast. And then as I begin to paint, it's going to create another adjustment. And I can use this mask. If I hold down the Alt or the Option key, I can drop the mask in here, replace it, and then play around with our brightness. Okay, I have an easier way of doing that. Let's undo that. And let me show you the trick. Is I'm going to duplicate this layer. Make sure the mask is selected. Now, as you know, if I go up and I choose a brightness here, it's going to create a new layer. Now, there used to be a feature that used to be in Photoshop where you could change the content of adjustment layer. And it's hidden and it's here. Check this out. Rather than going up there, go to the taskbar, change this to brightness and contrast, and look at that. We've got the same mask. It's changed the contents of that adjustment from hue saturation to brightness, whereas now we can bring out the detail in this coat while changing the color. All right, and if you're getting any value out of this video, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. You won't miss any of my videos. All right, so let's do a more advanced version. We're going to grab a regular brush. We're not going to use the adjustment brush. We're going to go at the top and we're going to create a regular adjustment layer. So let's do a curves adjustment layer. Excellent. Now I'm just going to drag this all the way to the top because I want it to affect everything. Now what I want to do is I want to paint on the brightness. Okay, so let's make an adjustment. So we're going to brighten this up. So let's drag it up. Notice right now it's adjusting the entire image. If I select the mask and hit Control I or Command I, it's going to make it black. Now, wherever I paint is going to show that adjustment. Before I start painting, let me use one of the masks I've already created. So if I hit Control or Command and click, it's just going to select the outline because I, composited this obviously. And now we're going to paint into this mask, and this is just going to help us stay in the lines. So with that black mask, we're going to paint with white, and we're going to paint with a regular paintbrush. Now, of course, I can adjust the amount of pen pressure, which I'm going to do. So under transfer, I'm going to use pen pressure. If you're using a mouse, just drop the opacity down a little bit. And let's get a little reflection on the violin. So let's hit Control D to turn off this selection. So if we look at what we've done here, that's brightened up that area. So if we hit the Alt or the Option key, we can see there's the mask. Okay, there's a little bit of work has gone into that mask. I don't want to have to recreate that mask. So if I just hit Control J, we can duplicate that layer. Now watch this. With this layer selected, with that mask selected, now we're going to grab the adjustment brush. Now go up to the taskbar, change this to hue saturation. Notice that that changed into a hue saturation adjustment layer. And now I can change the color so we can get that nice bluish tint. Look at that. So if I was to hide that and show it, you can see how we get that nice bluish color. Back in CS6 and before, we used to be able to choose an adjustment layer, and we could choose there, and it would be a contents option that we could change the contents of that adjustment layer. Now we can do it, but it's a little bit of a hidden hack. By doing it, it'll only work in the taskbar. It will not work on the main adjustment. So now we can just refine our images by duplicating our adjustments, changing the type, and it's a lot faster than having to drag and duplicate masks. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this tutorial useful and you can adapt it to use it on your own images. Let me know in the comments underneath if you found it useful. And if you're new, welcome to the cafe. Hit the subscribe button, turn on notification, and you won't miss any of my tutorials. And until next time, I'll see you at the cafe.